Idaho Matters is brought to you in part by St. Luke's Pharmacy, now offering free home delivery. For daily medications or one time prescriptions, home delivery is easy to set up. It's convenient and safe. St. Luke's Pharmacy, now delivering to your doorstep. Information on how to get started at stlukesonline.org.
Family, work, school, you've got a lot going on. I'm Aisha Roscoe from NPR. We know you're busy, so we've made staying informed easy. The Boise State Public Radio mobile app is a hassle-free way to keep up with the latest news and stories. Whether you're cooking dinner, folding laundry, or just tackling your daily to-do list, staying in the know has never been so simple. Download the free Boise State Public Radio app today, so even when you're busy, you'll never miss a beat. And join me for Weekend Edition every Sunday morning from 6 to 10 on Boise State Public Radio News.
More Idaho Matters now from the studios of Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Gemma Gaudette. In a kitchen, good things often take time, a sentiment that's put into practice at the Sun Valley Culinary Institute, where students are learning to cook alongside some of the industry's best chefs, building the skills they'll need for a future in the food service industry. So joining us now to talk more about the program is Executive Director Carl Urey. Carl, welcome to the program. Nice to have you with us.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
So for folks who may not be familiar with the Sun Valley Culinary Institute, can you tell us a little bit more about your organization?
Sure. We are a one-year professional culinary school that actually launched right at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. We had our ribbon cutting on March 11th of 2020, so right at the beginning. But we're a really unique program where we combine hands-on intensive learning in our classroom. We do a 10-week session in the fall, followed by a paid 4-month externship at a local restaurant in our community. And then we come back into school in the spring. We do another 10 weeks of intensive training. And then they go out and they work in another externship location somewhere within the Wood River Valley for another 4 months over the summer. So in all, they get 8 months of paid work experience and 700 hours of training in our kitchen. It's a great opportunity for them to learn as also earn money while they're in school.
Mhm. What makes it different from, other traditional culinary schools?
Well, one, we are a U.S. Department of Labor registered apprenticeship program. So all we are doing is teaching vocational hands-on skills. We really believe that students who are coming to our program are looking for a quick way into their industry and an ability to start their career in a short period of time. So we are not accredited. All we teach is culinary skills, and so they are in the kitchen every day that they're in school with us.
You mentioned that your program is recognized by the U.S. Department of Labor. Can you talk about what that actually means, like in practical terms for students and their career paths?
Sure. So what this does is that when we started at the Culinary Institute, we were looking for a credential that we would be able to provide our students when they leave us. And so what this does is that it's something that they can attach to their application or within their resume that tells that employer that these students or this graduate has a certain number of hands-on training in our kitchen, as well as the amount of experience that they have in the kitchens as well.
And a big part of your mission, at least my understanding, is that you really want to help these students graduate without debt. I mean, that's huge. So how are you working to do that?
So we work, we are a 501c3, and we have a very generous philanthropic community in the Wood River Valley that helps really make sure that we are able to provide the students with the funding that they need to come to school. Most of our students do still have some amount of tuition that they pay per year, and we try to make that as easy as possible on the student, where we break that up into 12 equal payments across the time that they are with us. And then at the same time, they are in school, and when they're in their externships, they are being paid by those restaurants. So, we are hoping that they are not leaving with any sort of academic debt from the education that they're receiving. It's an industry that is not necessarily known for paying well at the very beginning, and we want to make sure that our students graduate in a great place.
So you talked about these paid externships that your students have. What does that look like in terms of like, that real world experience that they are gaining by working in these commercial kitchens?
Sure. So when about week 7, we start, because there are 10 weeks with us, and then about halfway through between weeks 5 and 7, we start looking at the student and we understand where they are in their skill set. We understand the restaurant locations that we have to place students. And then we really make sure that we try to place them, the student with a chef. We look at personalities, we look at the part of the day that the student is interested in working, whether it's breakfast or lunch or dinner, fine dining or catering. And we sort of play a little bit of matchmaker, right? We want to make sure that the student is going into a kitchen where they're going to have a great mentor in the chef that's in that kitchen, and that we're providing the chef with the right student for him or her, so that it's successful for everyone. So they are in there, they are working 40 hours a week. They're working in different parts of the kitchen, whether it's in the pantry or on the line or the grill station, dishwashing. We do it all. So we want to make sure that they see all parts of the restaurant.
Mhm. And I understand also your class sizes rather are quite small. What kind of impact do you see in the student experience because of that?
Well, we range in a class size of 10 to 12 students for 1 year. It's really amazing. I get to watch these students from the first day that they walk into school. Actually, I'm always usually the one who's out recruiting. So I see them
Mhm.
before they even apply. And I get to know these students. I get to see them over the course of 1 year and the transformation that occurs, not only just in their professional skill set, being able to cook in a commercial kitchen, but just them as individuals. It's really transformative. They build confidence. They learn a lot of just sort of the softer skills in life that are so important, as well as these great technical skills in the kitchen. It's really amazing. And to be able to have one instructor, 10 or 12 students, they get a lot of hands-on and personal attention.
Um, the Sun Valley Food and Wine Celebration, I mean, I know it's already passed. It happened in January, but it's quite the anticipated event every year. Do your students, work with that at all? I mean, how does a big event like that benefit, both your students but also the community?
Oh, absolutely. So the Sun Valley Food and Wine Celebration, we just finished up our 4th year. We're coming into our 5th year next January. It will be the last week of January again. This year, we were supposed to have 17 chefs. Unfortunately, because of the storms on the East Coast, we lost a few along the way. But we ended up with 14 chefs out here, and they work side by side with our students. So these are James Beard Award winning chefs, these are Food Network personalities. And our students are there helping and supporting them while they are here. And these students develop relationships with these chefs. And I hope that they will take that opportunity later on into their professional career, and reach out to them. But it wouldn't happen without the support of the staff and the students of the Sun Valley Culinary Institute. And that event is really just designed to highlight our school and help underwrite the costs of our tuition.
So, you mentioned that your students get to work alongside some really well-known chefs. What does that kind of experience do, for an aspiring chef like your students are?
I think it all depends on what advantage they take of it, right? So we have had
Hmm.
students who, they are still in contact with their chefs that they worked with. They follow each other on social media. Some of our students have gone out and seen these chefs in their professional kitchens. We actually had 2 of our graduates who worked with Britt Rosigno and Kinsey Leodler here, who just opened Fiamma a little over a year ago. She's on the Food Network. 2 of our students have been working in there since 2 of our graduates have been working there since it opened, and they were actually working with them beforehand. So, it's great, and it's so impactful because the chefs love to come back and work with the students. And they love the fact that they're able to try to help impart some of their own knowledge to our students.
I've heard that there's been a real growing interest from students wanting to join the industry. What are you seeing in terms of demand for culinary education here in our state?
Well, so there are two additional programs. There's the College of Northern Idaho has a program as well as CSI. And so, our 10 or 12 students actually makes up, for being such a small school, about 25% of the culinary education spots in our whole state. There is a huge interest from Boise, especially this coming fall. I have 5 students already for next year who are planning on coming up from Boise to be part of the school. And then I have a great demand from just local students. And I should say our student body ranges this year from 18 to 67. So it's not all just students who are coming right out of high school. This is people who are looking for new opportunities for their career, as well as those students who are coming out of high school.
And beyond training chefs, how does the Institute contribute to to the local hospitality industry, in particular in the Wood River Valley?
So we are open, as the Sun Valley Culinary Institute is open 3 or 4 nights a week. And so we're doing wine tasting and we're doing cooking classes. We have themed dinners. We bring in visiting chefs. We just had Chef Vitaly Paley, who used to be in Portland. He's now in Kona. He's a James Beard Award winning chef, also won Iron Chef America. He was just here last month doing dinners, working with our students. We had another chef from Alaska who was just down here. And it's been really great to just see how the Institute has become part of the hospitality community in the Wood River Valley. We are another dining option for people as well as an education opportunity.
And in fact, you have an open house that's happening, I believe, tomorrow, April 21st. What can people and prospective students expect?
So we will have an open house tomorrow. Our doors will be open. Students will be able to see the school. We'll have some refreshments available for them. They'll be able to meet with myself. They'll be able to meet with Chef Jorge De La Torre, our education director. They'll be able to see the kitchen that they'll be working in. I can speak with them about financial assistance. We can talk with them about housing. That's always a big topic in our world, as well as just learning more about the Wood River Valley.
Well, I want to thank you so very much for taking time to talk with us today. We've been speaking with Executive Director Carl Urey about the Sun Valley Culinary Institute. And as I mentioned, they will have an open house tomorrow. And that'll do it for this episode of Idaho Matters. Make sure you check out our podcast feed because you can find more episodes of topics that might be interesting to you. And for more local news and headlines, make sure you subscribe to the Connector podcast. And you can also listen to Boise State Public Radio podcasts, including Idaho Matters, on YouTube.
If you like podcasts like this, explore more from the Boise State Public Radio podcast family. There you'll find a mix of daily news, Idaho Voices, and in-depth series on a wide range of topics. I'm talking wild horses, political scandals, sustainable ranching, and militia groups in a post-January 6th world. Wherever you get your podcasts, just search Boise State Public Radio to find what Idaho's NPR station has in store for you.